We're having the best holiday in Japan, aren't we?
Sure are. It's been great.
Yeah, it's been awesome. And it's a country that we haven't been to before. Living in Australia, we're so close to Asia.
Yeah.
And we've been to a lot of Asian countries, haven't we?
Of course.
Yeah. But Japan is fascinating.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's a different culture.
It's so much more fascinating than I ever thought.
Me too, yeah.
We're going to go through in this video, we're going to tell you from an Australian's point of view, our 10 top things that we love about Japan.
Yep.
The first one, polite.
Yeah, very polite.
Oh, the people here are so polite, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're softly spoken. They love to bow, and they bow a lot, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I mean, most people would know the Japanese bow is a sign of respect, but even if you give way to them at a door or something, they'll bow to you before you go through, acknowledging.
They're so respectful, but they're so polite. So when you're coming off a train or about to board a train, they'll always stand back. There's none of this pushing or shoving. And the same when you're getting on an escalator in a very busy subway, it's they will politely stand back and everyone queues up. And it even goes down to even when they're driving, they're very polite the way that they drive. That's something that has really stood out to us. In fact, when we were at a tea ceremony in Kyoto, the lady there explained to us how they have 3 different sorts of bows. They have like a little bow, and then they have a medium bow, and then they have a deep bow. You know, that also comes into our second thing that we're going to talk about with Japanese people is how respectful they are. And everywhere we go, you know, they're very respectful to us. And something that people may not understand, you know, quite often they don't make eye contact with you. And I think this can be misconceived by foreigners as being antisocial or something. Rude. But it's actually respectful. Think about the night when we arrived in Tokyo. We arrived at night time. It was late, and you know, if you've arrived in the airport at Tokyo, you know it's super busy, and you've got all the train system there as well. And you know, we jumped on a train and we're dragging all our luggage, and there was 5 of us, and we're like big oafs, and everybody was just sitting there so polite, and they had their eyes down. But that was really being respectful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, not to make us feel foolish.
No, when you engage with them, talking to them or asking a question, they full on engage. They'll look at you in the eye and smile and become animated. So, yeah, Beth's right. It's just a respect thing, and it's part of their culture.
Yeah, part of their culture. So I really love that about Japan. I love that they're polite, and I love that they're respectful. Here's another one that we put down. Cleanliness.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Oh my goodness.
Spotless. Everywhere you go is spotless.
Spotless. Like everybody hears about Singapore and how spotless it is. Wow. Japanese, so clean. And, you know, I went out of my way at some of the subway stations where I could find a bit of dust, and do you know I couldn't find it? They're so clean, and there's no bins anywhere, really.
No, you have to. There will be some near vending machines. There'll be a little recycling bin for, you know, if you take a can or a drink or whatever, and you finish it on the spot, you can put it in there. But no, you take your rubbish with you and dispose of it properly.
And you know, that's the best, because it really makes you think about how much rubbish you use, doesn't it?
And the other thing I was going to say, if you ever want to use a public toilet in Japan, have no fear. Absolutely every single one we went to was immaculate. And they have people probably heard about Japanese toilets. Even the public toilets have them, where they'll wash your bits and pieces. and dry them off.
Kind of like a bidet, but a digital one.
A digital one, yeah. But no, the public toilets are absolutely sensational.
And that's so funny because when we arrived and Sarah said, I need to go to the bathroom. And I said, oh, no, Sarah, don't go. This is a station and the subway. And she said, Mum, it's Japan. And she was right. It was immaculate. Right. You could eat off the floor in the public toilets in Japan. They're that good.
Okay, enough about toilets.
The next thing is we love about Japan, they're so orderly, aren't they?
Yeah, really orderly.
Really orderly.
Yeah, that's
Explain about the driving. It's fascinating.
Yeah, well, one night Matthew and I were up high, we're just having a beer, and we're looking out, and it was peak hour below us, and the traffic, I've never seen such orderly peak hour traffic. They were all equidistant apart. They were all equally apart. There was no tailgating, nothing. And the traffic wasn't like in Australia, you'll get stop-start because people cutting in or jumping on their brakes. It just flowed smoothly. We were really impressed. And that wasn't just a one-off. We've seen it happen many times. Yeah.
So orderly, and with queuing as well.
And queuing,
Queuing, so they have a perfect system when you're queuing to, for example, we've been on a lot of trains because we've been training all around the country. But to queue up, they have it painted on the platform. The directions for the queue where it will line up perfectly where the door opens, but they're perfectly, maybe orderly and maybe like a metre between each person, and they just do it.
It just makes for a better embarkation and disembarkation of the train or whatever bus.
It's fantastic. Another thing that we've written down is how friendly and helpful they are.
Oh yeah, without question.
Yeah.
You ask someone a question or a direction, and they'll go out of their way to try and help you, won't they?
We live in Australia.
Australia?
Yeah. In Queensland.
I'm glad to meet you.
You too.
You too.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
We're asking for an explanation of a menu. Sometimes it's just in Japanese and there's no pictures. Mostly it's not, but occasionally it is. And we're a little bit adventurous, our family, so we'll just go into a restaurant that's fully Japanese, full of Japanese people, no pictures, no English, and we'll just walk in and just work it out, and we get the best experiences, I say.
They're all I think they're delighted that we just come in. I mean, sure, we're not the only ones to do that, but they always seem delighted that we're coming in, and they'll help us and assist us, and we always end up with, well, we'll probably touch on this too. The food is always beautiful. Yeah.
And you made little friends on the train.
Oh, yeah. I don't know which train that was, but they were asking me where we were from, and we just had a little chat. They were lovely, really nice.
Lovely couple. But you were communicating using your phone.
Because these days we've got the Google Translate, so I could translate and show them, and they'd start laughing, and then they'd respond.
What were you saying to them?
Japan is beautiful. We love the people, and everything was so clean and all that, and they loved hearing that, of course, like anyone would, I suppose, about your own country. But it was nice just to talk to some people local people that we met.
The next one is proud. Japanese people are so proud of their culture, aren't they? And you see it everywhere. They're proud when they wear their uniform.
Oh, yeah.
For example, at the train stations or in restaurants or hotels, they really take their jobs seriously and they're super proud. And like on the stations, people wear little hats and full-on uniform. And you know that they're proud because they're impeccably presented, aren't they? They're not just putting their uniform on.
No.
I mean, it's beautifully, it's clean and pressed, and I really, really admire that, and the way that they dress for their work. Proud of their culture, and that also goes for a lot of the temples and places that we've visited, museums and things like that. So proud of their culture. So we really admire how they take pride in everything. That's a very admirable trait, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. Okay, next one, food.
Where can we start? I haven't had a bad meal.
Their food is fresh. And it's local and it's healthy. And you can see it when you see Japanese people walking around. They look healthy, don't they?
Well, and none carrying any weight.
No, they look really healthy, and there's a lot of seafood in their diet. And we've eaten everything dished up before us, haven't we? And I've eaten like snail-looking things in shells from the sea. and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, the way that they prepare it, or the way that they don't prepare it because it's so fresh, makes it so good, doesn't it?
Well, ramen is one example. It's the best ramen. I've had 3, I think, in this trip, and, you know, all 3 were fantastic. Just delightful. Really, really good.
In fact, one ramen place, what was it called? Is it called Ichiran?
Ichiran.
Yeah, Ichiran ramen. How's this? Listen to this. That's won a Michelin star.
Yeah.
It's the best ramen in the world.
You had to queue up. It wasn't too long to
No,
get in.
but how much was it? It was about 18 Australian dollars roundabout.
Well, that was definitely the best ramen I've ever had.
Queued up for 30 minutes in the shade.
Yeah.
Totally worth it. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I love the way Japanese people take their food so seriously.
Yeah.
So in this ramen place, you'll see that we're in like little individual booths or cubicles.
Yeah.
And the chef passes you the meal behind a curtain. You don't actually see them. And they have a word. What do they call those? They're like flavoursome cubicles or something like that is how they describe it. They want you to concentrate. It's not a social dining experience because they want you to concentrate on the food and just enjoy that food and that moment in time. And it was unbelievable, wasn't it? It was so good. It was so good. Throughout this video, we're showing you shots, and you'll be looking right now at shots of the food, and you can see we've had some awesome food experiences.
It's been fantastic.
It's been fantastic.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't had a bad meal.
No, we haven't either. And then the next one that we want to talk about is it's not as expensive as I thought it would be.
No, that's always, maybe it was 20 years ago, but it's often put me or us off from coming here. But the food is probably less expensive than Australia. Australia's a pretty expensive place now. Yeah. But we found the quality of the food we got was
superior quality and you know, far less expensive. Yeah. So in Australia we would easily pay $20 for a bowl of ramen, wouldn't you? 18 to $20 for a bowl of ramen. Yeah. But their best Michelin star one is like 18. Yeah. In the main we would pay like $9 here for a bowl of ramen. Yeah. $9 Australian.
That's right.
And it's and the food is incredible. They offer sets a bit like they do in Europe. So for a set, last night we had a set and it was about $12 Australian, and that was a beautiful huge bowl of ramen. Yeah. And it came with 5 gyozas as well. Yeah. So they have, or you could have a little bean salad or something. So they have set meals.
Include a drink in the set.
Things like that. Yeah. So don't let that put you off coming to Japan because you think it's really expensive. Yeah. Because the thing is, you always have choices, don't you?
Yeah, sure do. Yeah, and they have some Western meals, but we weren't here for them.
Yeah, in the main part, we just had Japanese food and it wasn't expensive. In fact, we spent a lot less money than we thought we would.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we went to some really nice restaurants. Places, and as I said, we'd just pull in, we'd just go up, we'd see some Japanese writing on the outside, we'd just walk in, wouldn't we? Yeah. And we're sitting down the way Japanese people sit down, around a table all facing each other, and we're having this beautiful, authentic experience, and it was very reasonable. The next one, the vending machines, everywhere.
Yes. People probably have seen vending machines on YouTube or whatever in Japan, but they're everywhere, literally everywhere. You can be going down this really quiet little lane in a small town and you'll see this vending machine just sitting there, and it's got all sorts of drinks and they're all really reasonable, much cheaper than what you'll get in Australia, that's for sure.
Yeah, much cheaper. So I'd say probably the average cost for us, we were getting bottles of water, and they have bottles of water with electrolytes in them, which has been really good because we're doing a lot of walking and it's quite warm here at the moment. So those would work out to about $1.60 Australian or $1.70 Australian. We can't buy a bottle of cold water for that price in Australia. So they were really convenient. They also have some, we didn't try them, but they also had ones that did food. Look, they're so cool in Japan. They even have how do you say it, Sarah? Okonomiyaki vending machine. That's so cool. I wonder if there's a little man in there making them all. This is a very important one. Probably should have been number 1. Honesty.
Ah, that's right.
Japanese people, number 1 when it comes to honesty.
Yep. absolutely. We've mislaid a couple of things in our trip.
Sarah had just purchased a brand new iPhone before this trip. We were at a station. Where were we? It was in Kyoto.
Yeah, it was Kyoto.
Yeah. And we were at we actually were at a little local station, not used by the tourists.
No.
And so we were sitting at this train station, and then realised we were at the wrong station, and got up quickly to change to a whole different train line in a different station. And when we got there, Sarah realised that she'd left her phone on the seat at the other station. So she was in a panic straight away. And I said, it's okay, Sarah, because this is Japan. You know, of all the places in the world to leave your brand new iPhone, Japan's the best one.
Well, I must say, I wasn't stressed. I thought, no, I'm sure over here it'll be fine.
So what we did is we put I wrote a little message in Google Translate for the station master at the station we were at, saying that we left our phone at the other station. And so he knew what was going on, but he didn't know how he could help us because he was in a different station. The station where we'd left it, Matthew had run all the way down and the phone had gone, was disappeared. Still, I was confident that it wasn't stolen. With the Find Your iPhone message, you can track where it is.
Yeah.
And we could see that it was at an address. So I showed it to this station master and said, look, it's at this address somewhere. And he said, okay, it's a train station. And he pointed. So Sarah and I went down to that other train line. Someone had picked it up, and I said to Sarah, I know what's happened. They've picked it up because there's no station master to give it to, and they've gone 3 or 4 stations away to give it to a station master. And so we caught the train with all the local people, and they were kind of a little puzzled why we were on this tiny little train that just did, 6 stations, little local train, and they're kind of looking at us. But we got off, and the station master, Sarah, walked up and gave them a message saying, I've lost my iPhone and I believe it might be here. And he's, you're Sarah. He was really excited. And that's what somebody did. They picked it up and they took it down and gave it to the station master. They were very kind. So, honesty, I've dropped my equivalent to a Go card in Queensland, I guess, or a Mikey card in Melbourne, a card called Pasmo card here, where we use it for the metro trains, and straight away someone picks it up and hands it to me. You hear those stories all the time, don't you, about the Japanese being so honest. This holiday has been so much more than, for all of those reasons, so much more than we ever thought.
No, it's been fantastic.
Fantastic. It really makes Japan is a special place. We definitely would recommend coming to Japan because of all the Asian countries we've been to, it is very unique. And for all those reasons that we've given, it's a fascinating country, and I have so much respect for Japanese people and their culture. But we would recommend not coming in summer, probably.
Not summer. We're from Queensland, so we're used to the heat and the humidity, and it has been challenging because it has been really hot. But yeah, I'd come. I mean, spring's very popular here because of the spring flowers. But mid-autumn, I think would be fantastic. Yeah, probably. And if you want snow, come in winter.
Yeah.
Some of the places we went to, you can imagine how beautiful it would look.
Spectacular in winter. I think autumn would be great.
I think autumn would be fantastic.
Autumn would be beautiful.
Because there'd be a lot of colour then as well.
Yeah, although it has been hot and humid, and we look kind of hot and humid probably in a lot of our vision, we did use sunblock. Yeah. We carried an umbrella, just like the Japanese people did, because the temperatures here have been, 36 probably most days, always, high humidity and high dew point.
There's always little cafes or restrooms that are air conditioned to stop, so there's always areas where you can... Yeah,
and there's areres where you can have shade and where you can get a relief. Yeah. And it's so good to have those vending machines where we've been able to get a drink.
Yeah.
So we haven't felt dehydrated.
And here we are in the biggest city in the world, Tokyo. The one thing that really surprised us is it is the biggest city in the world, but it doesn't feel like it.
No.
One area we went to yesterday.
Yeah, Shibuya.
Yeah. That was crowded, but that's a really busy tourist area as well.
Yeah.
But we've stayed in a couple of different areas in Tokyo, and you'd be walking around and hardly see anyone, and the beautiful tree-lined streets. As you'll see, it's not all high-rise. It's medium density. Medium rise, I should say, and maybe that's to do with earthquakes, I'm not sure.
So we're sorry it's been a while since we've put a video out, But it has been really hectic, hasn't it?
Sure has. Yeah.
We've filled our days with things to do here. It's a fascinating place. Japan is a great country, and we've had a fantastic experience, and we really wanted to do it justice. And we hope that maybe you get to come here one day.
And probably the best part about it all, we had our family with us the whole time.
Yeah, we did. It was a special holiday for us.
Yeah.
So
Sarah and her partner.
yeah, we had Sarah and her partner and Matthew. So the family of 5. We've all had a fantastic time, haven't you? Quite unique. Very lucky to be able to go away as a family like this.
And it was all organised by Sarah.
Yeah, everything was organised by Sarah. We talked about having the opportunity after her surgery that she could organise a holiday wherever she wanted to go, and she decided she wanted to go to Japan, and not just with Michael but with the whole family. So that's what we've done. And it's been wonderful, hasn't it?
Yeah, great.
I think she's had the best time.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, we all have, really. It's been great. Yeah, great. So won't be too long till our next video, but until then, take care.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. See the fountain? Don't miss next week's video as we take you with us travelling around Japan, having a lot of fun. We'll see you then.